Welcome back to another Sculpt Session Sunday. I'm your host, Sash, and I am here with the beautiful, the wonderful Mandz with the shizzle.
Hello, guys.
And we are coming to you with another snack-sized episode that I'm super excited about because it is something that I feel very passionate about. Mandy, I'm sure you can also relate. First and foremost, I want to start with saying that the whole like if he wanted to, he would thing. I want to flip the cards real quick and say that if you wanted to, you would. And I'm not talking about relationships, I'm talking about in your relationship with yourself. So the conversation that Mandy and I are going to be having today, I feel like I literally dropped the bomb in the first minute of the podcast, but you know what? You got to know the kind of vibe that we have going on here. We're a little bit of on the tougher side, the tough love kind of side, and it's also things that I feel like people need to hear. So if it comes off a little bit rough, just know that all of this is purely out of love and just wanting to see each and every single person that's listening to this, that's following us, that keeps up with anything that we say, thriving. Mandy, stop throwing up gang signs, okay?
I'm
Please.
trying to do the new generation heart.
She's trying to make a heart, but she's throwing up gang signs. Anyways, I'm sure that well, I'm not going to make the assumption, but I'm going to assume that Mandy, you have heard this before on either a consultation call with a client, or maybe a call with a client, or maybe just a friend when you're telling them about, like they're telling you about their goals and whatnot, and they say, I know what I need to do, but I just can't get myself to do it. Or I know what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, and then like the demon side of me is like in the most loving way, like if it's a friend that's like, oh, I just can't like lose these 15 pounds. Like I know what I need to do and it's just like not working. And I want to be like, bitch, you don't know what to do.
You
Because if
don't.
you did, we wouldn't be having this conversation for the 26th time in a row. And I love you, but like I
Yeah,
can't hear you complain anymore. You're
yeah.
the problem.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
I feel
With
like if you
love.
add, I feel like if you add respectfully, like all of a sudden it's fine. Respectfully.
But it really is out of love because like would you want to continue doing the same shit that keeps you stuck and your friends are like encouraging you to like stay stuck? Or it's
Yeah.
like I love you and I want you to know like I'm not saying this to be mean, but like I want you to do better for yourself because this is something you say that you want.
Yeah.
So s- get it together.
No, seriously. And I don't want to go off on like a little tangent conversation, but it's really interesting because I was having this same conversation, like the same kind of concept conversation earlier today with a friend where I was telling her, I was like, listen, like my jam is I will tell you the blunt, honest truth, not because I want to hurt your feelings, but because I want the best for you. And like I'm the kind of friend, I'm the kind of coach, I'm the kind of fiance, I'm the kind of person who, if I know that you could be doing better for yourself and you're not, I will try to say with as much love and grace and compassion and kindness as I possibly can, but I will say it to you. Because who would I be if I let you do the bare minimum for yourself or like not even do the bare minimum for yourself? And it's funny because I feel like you and I are so good at this within our friendship where it's like if you know that I want to be doing something, like for example this podcast, I had a really hard time starting this podcast and showing up for it and posting, and I would procrastinate and I would get like in my head, and you have like very lovingly and like almost like in like a funny playful kind of way, but also like seriously like called me out a couple of times and been like, dude, post it today. Like, post it today. Like, we get off this call and you go and post it. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Like, I'm gonna do it, you know? And I feel like we've had the same exact thing where it was like, dude, just rip off the band-aid. Like, have the conversation. Like, do the thing. And it's not because we're pressuring each other or like trying to hurt each other in any way. No, it's actually the absolute opposite, where it's we're trying to better each other. And this is something that we do in our friendships. This is also something that we both do as coaches. So when someone comes to me and they're like, I know what I need to do, I just can't get myself to do it. You're telling me that what I actually hear when you say that is, I don't know what to do and or I don't want to do it.
The second one. They're not ready to uh get unstuck because that means doing something completely new.
Completely new. And that could also branch into a couple other areas, right? Like you might know the steps of what you need to do. Like, okay, cool, I have to get my daily step goal in. I need to start tracking macros, but I don't know how to track macros. I don't know how to execute that. I don't know how to get in 10K steps a day because I also don't have a walking pad. And it's also, to get 10K steps outside is like an hour and a half of walking every single day. And it's like when you know the steps, but you don't know how to execute them, you actually don't know anything because the
Mhm.
steps don't matter. It doesn't matter that you know what to do if you're not doing it.
Yep.
It's like saying like, "Oh yeah, I know how they got to the moon. They went into a freaking um space missile, whatever they're called. I forgot what they're called. What are they called?
Spaceship,
A
a
spaceship,
rocket.
a rocket, a spaceship, a space missile. What am I saying? They went
We have like 800 calories between us right now.
brain cells, last two
I
brain
just
cells.
goofed on my podcast. You're goof. It's okay. We're
It,
fine,
it's
guys.
fine.
We're
It's fine.
fine.
It's fine. We're fine. We're fine. The show must go on. But like, it's like me saying like, oh yeah, I know how they build a car. Like they put the parts together and they just build a car. But like, put me in the freaking car shop to build a car. I don't know what the hell to do. So it's like it doesn't matter that I know the steps because I don't know how to do them. So like, that's a moot point. And I feel like most people know what they need to be doing, but the problem is the execution part of it. And the execution part of it goes into so many directions. It could be that you don't trust yourself enough to do it. You don't have the information. You don't have the guidance. You haven't made the identity shift between I know what I need to do and I'm actually the kind of person that does it. You haven't built up the confidence for it yet. You haven't shown proof to yourself yet that you are doing it, or simply you are scared because you suck. And I'm gonna tie this back into a really real and raw example of mine. Not example, personal story, tracking macros. I feel like because I was gonna talk about my posing one, but I feel like someone who's not a bodybuilder isn't really gonna relate to that. So, Sasha, how did you start tracking macros? Great question, Mandy. This is how it happened. Um, I essentially started with drinking like protein shakes, just like pre-made ones, and guesstimating and having a notes in my phone of, oh, okay, I drank two of these, so I must be getting 80 grams of protein in a day. And then I had some chicken, so I don't know, 20 grams here. Then I started weighing food out on a food scale and logging it in my fitness pal, logging it incorrectly, might I add, because I logged cooked chicken as raw chicken. I logged cooked rice as frozen rice. So like I had all of my logs messed up. Why? Because I didn't know how to do it. I was new at it, so I sucked at it naturally. And then the best part was that I had this like drying material where I would like put some spoons and whatever on and it was like soft. And I had my food scale
Oh,
standing on that. So every single time that I would weigh something, it's like one day 4 ounces of chicken looked like this, one day 4 ounces of chicken looked like this because the weight kept
oh
fluctuating.
yeah.
And I did that for maybe a month up until I was like, hold on. No, it was less than a month. It was like 2 to 3 weeks because I was like, oh my God, I just did an unintentional 3 week bulk because I'm eating double what I
What?
actually am supposed to. And I was already like starting a prep. Crazy shit. Because how did I even start a prep without knowing how to track macros? Don't ask me. But the point of the story is I sucked at it. I sucked at tracking macros and I held off for so long that up until the point where I had no choice but to track macros because without tracking macros, you cannot compete. Like it is that you cannot do that. I had to literally learn on the way, and I learned by failing and by messing up and by overeating for 2 weeks because I was tracking them wrong and by sucking at it. So it's like if you aren't willing to go through the phase where you suck at something, where you're not good at it, where it's brand new to you, you aren't actually going to get good at it and you won't ever actually execute. So just because you know what you need to do, but you haven't actually gone through the process of trial and error and messing up and getting better and learning and repeating and creating a consistent cycle for yourself of doing the thing, like it really doesn't matter that you know the steps. It really doesn't.
Yeah. I'm a huge advocate of like anybody can read instructions, anyone can read a book and learn about something, but until you get firsthand experience doing it, you're not going to fully understand the concept that you've been reading about.
Yeah.
Like it's, and then the other like little, I guess, like old saying that I really really love is an expert in anything once started as a beginner where you don't know anything. So like if you want to get good at something, you just have to accept that like the suck is a part of starting.
Yeah.
Period.
And it's also such a great part of starting because you, with every single time that you mess up and with every single time that you make a mistake and you need to recenter yourself, like it teaches you something about yourself, about your journey, about the course. So it's like all of this tying back to the initial bomb that I dropped, like if you wanted to, you would. And just because you know something doesn't mean like just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you actually know it. Like to be able to embrace the fact that you're not good at it and that you are new at it and that this is just where you're at in your journey. Like Mandy and I sucked when we started doing the podcast. And when we look back at this in a year, we're probably going to be like, this sucked too, because we got so much better at it because we're making the effort and showing up and trying. When I started coaching and I started working under a coach, I sucked. I was like, I just need to figure this out. I need to learn this. When I started bodybuilding, I sucked. When I started posing, I sucked. When I started posting content and talking to the camera, I sounded like a freaking robot. I sucked. So it's like, unless you're willing to go through that, how are you ever going to know how to get better if you don't know where you suck?
Hmm.
And I think
Amen.
a lot of that really does tie into also understanding that there needs to be a layer of having practical knowledge, not just surface level knowledge, which I feel like ties into what you said of like, unless you do it and unless you're learning on the job, like you're not actually learning. You can read 1,000 books about how to build better habits, but if you don't go and apply the things to your day-to-day life, you're not going to build a better habit. You can listen to 1,000 podcasts about how to lose weight and put on muscle and do this and do that, but unless you tighten up the way that you eat and start tracking macros and start living a better life, you will never actually get there. Like it doesn't, the knowing does not matter.
Hmm.
And like that's really the point that I want to drive home because you don't need more motivation. You don't need a perfect time to start. You don't need everything. You don't and won't get everything handed to you. And you definitely don't need that. What you need is to have systems that you build in place of, okay, I think I know what I need to do. What do I need to actually have in order to do it? So if it's reaching certain fitness goals, hiring a coach. If it's starting a business, hiring a mentor or doing your research. If it's starting to pursue social media, making the first post. Whatever it is that you want to be working towards, like unless you are taking active steps in order to work towards that, no matter how good or bad they are, you're not actually doing anything.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people get stuck in the whole like perfectionist mindset when it comes to that, which is where I've struggled so much. And I still notice myself, like catch myself struggling with that sometimes of like, "Nah, I don't really want to film a podcast because I didn't wash my hair today and it doesn't look the way that I want and it doesn't look perfect and blah, 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 whatever the hell I want to say to myself. But like, it's not about being perfect. It's about being someone who follows through. And even when it's not perfect or it's not exactly what you wanted it to be, and that also ties back to it being like an identity thing. Like you make the decision of someone of becoming a person who follows through rather a person that says that they want to do something and then it's kind of just like floating in the air.
Hmm.
Like I want to go to the moon, but I'm not gonna go and practice how to get on a spaceship and gravity. Like I don't know. I don't know the example that I'm trying to lead home here, but like you can say that you want to do something, but unless you're doing the things, it doesn't matter what you say. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do.
Period. The proof is in the pudding.
It is. It is. And the proof is also in the progress.
Yep.
Good progress. Any steps that you take are good steps, even if you feel like they are in moments steps backwards because you're trying to figure it out, like it is actually still a step forward because now you're learning what doesn't work for you. And I know that kind of sounds like a little bit of a mental gymnastics, but that's
That's a part of learning and that's part of succeeding in something.
yeah.
And I think to really take it home, listeners, this rings a bell. And if you were kind of like, dang, I feel a little bit called out and I feel a little bit seen, and now you're kind of like, I do want to make a change, but what do I do? Great news. We're coaches.
I had a feeling you were gonna throw it in there. Yes, yes.
Sasha can get you set up real good with systems because, like she said, that is a huge part of this is having the systems in place to create those lifestyle changes that you're looking for.
This is true. Subtle plug.
Apply.
Subtle plug. I like it. I like it. No, seriously though, it's like, and I always say this, I'm like, whether you decide to work with me or whether you decide to work with Mandy or whether you just simply start taking some sort of action on your own, it is about the taking action, not about speaking things into existence. Like, what is, I understand the value in speaking things into existence, but it's also similarly like the podcast that you and I have done before about like manifesting and actually seeing progress. It's like, cool. You want to manifest, you want to pray, you want to journal, you want to speak things into existence, but none of that matters if you don't take action. None of it
Mhm.
matters. None of it, all of it is literally just going to be wishful and hopeful thinking if you don't follow through with what it is you're saying. You're saying that you want to be in the best shape ever by your 30th birthday, but you're turning 27 and you have yet to step foot in the gym or to stop eating processed food or to stop going out every single weekend, you're actually working completely against yourself. And that is your choice and your decision. So I know that that might sound a little bit like, oh, but it is a very empowering thing to know that it is your choice and your decision because the same person who's choosing a shitty route can also choose a good route.
Mhm.
It's your walk.
Walk it.
Exactly, exactly. But that's the little nugget that Manz and I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up. If you were interested in any parts of this conversation, go ahead and hit us up in the DMs. We would love to continue on these conversations. We're both very passionate about this because we've both been in this for a while. Mandy has been in her fitness journey for a decade now.
At Oh no, a little bit over now. Oh
Just,
my God, because I'm
just
gonna be 38.
And just a little bit over a decade now, and I am like hitting my half decade anniversary right now. So I'm like, we've been in this for a decent chunk of time to be able to see our old selves in our clients and people that reach out to us in the way that they talk, the way that they act, the way that they are. So like everything that we're saying to you is something that we wish either A, wish we heard when we first started, or B, heard at some point and helped us pivot. So take what you want from here. Just know that all of this comes from love. And if you enjoy these conversations, also don't forget to hop over to Unfiltered and Functional, which is on Mandy's podcast, drops every Monday. And we will catch you in the next Sculpt Session Sunday. Thank you guys. And thank you,
See
Mandy,
you.
for joining me.
Thank you.
Bye.